Ladies and gentlemen, globalization is one of the most important advances to human history, no doubt. It's produced some positive macro developments for certain populations around the world. It also brings changes in language, change our way of clothing, introduce new products, greater access to information at ever-increasing rates and speed, have allowed for much better education and business opportunities to be obtaken by both developed and undeveloped societies on scales never seen previously in human history. Globalization is indeed a good help for us and in our culture. It can bring and introduce different countries with the help of modern transport systems and World Wide Web. Amongst other things, this means that people and countries can exchange. That's why many cultures have faded and flourished, especially in our beloved country, Indonesia. As we all know, Indonesia is a country that has several cultures. This cultural diversity occurs because Indonesia is made up of hundreds of islands, where each island has its own culture like folk art, traditional ceremonies, traditional dance, musical instrument, traditional clothes, typical food, traditional weapon, and any traditional cultures. However, ladies and gentlemen, current Indonesian culture is in danger of being lost as it has been eroded by time. There are so many factors that put Indonesian culture at risk, but the main factor of this problem because of the teenagers. So many of them now are cradled by modern life and even have begun to forget the values inherited from their ancestors. Not just forget it, they don't even understand their own culture at all. And sadly, many people prefer to love the Western culture than Indonesian. Did everybody know that we got identity crisis? Did many people realize that culture is treasure that we should preserve from the ancestor? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how globalization works in our culture. Globalization has affected the way we live our lives and we dress. Or in other words, the teenagers are really vulnerable to the globalization revolution, and it has transformed our Indonesian culture. So let me give you another important example, which is the usage of English language. It's actually one of the most apparent effects of globalization in our culture. Although English is important for us to be globally competitive, right? And I guarantee that all of my viewers in here are often hear someone talk in Indonesian mixed with English, because maybe they are watching Western movies and trying to speak in that in their everyday life. And I've seen someone who's talking in English just seeking for a higher status in society. And for another example is, who wouldn't know Blackpink or BTS? Or even Avengers movies, Lakers, and Japanese anime, right? So globalization has made it possible for us to be wired and plunged into television programs, movies, news, lifestyle from other countries. So in return, many Indonesian, especially youth, would have forgotten the traditional Indonesian culture, and this may seem negative effects on our culture. Another negative impact is the movement of people and culture to other countries, and this affects cultural identity because the citizens of that particular country change their values and the way they live, such as the food they eat and the clothes they wear. And because of this, we lose our identity. Last but not least, the fact that nowadays a lot of people from different countries with different values and cultures are trying to integrate with people who have different values from them. And unfortunately, they are facing discrimination and racism because of religion and skin color. And we can see that changes in our life today. But ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to look at the other side, there are many positive effects of globalization to our culture. If you ever seen Agnes Monica in her solo song named Long As I Get Paid, well, she's actually the Indonesian who's wearing batik in her music. so that she can broach our national cultural identity to international attentions and acclamation of the foreigners. And that's why I said that globalization has also paved way for our culture or identity to be appreciated by the world through international fair trade and other international activities. So, in summary, ladies and gentlemen, globalization of culture has created both positive and negative effects in our culture. Globalization has also improved our way of living and created for a better life or created motivation for us to strive for a better life. So in conclusion, that globalization is neither good nor bad. Whether it depends on how we just can control our mind to preserve our culture or introduce it internationally. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for my speech. Thank you very much for the attention. I'm Sylvia Aqilah Yasmin. Have a nice day.